brought to you by Commonwealth Brewery Limited. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the show. It's been 1 year since the death of Cabinet Minister Obi Wilscombe. The then Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini suddenly passed in his constituency during the early morning hours on a Monday. His death shocked the nation. Wilscombe's contributions are many, particularly to this noble field of broadcasting, and it would befit us not to mention and salute him tonight. A year later, his legacy lives on. Tonight, his constituency is honoring him with a tribute concert, and that's where you'll find our Jolanda Thompson-Everest from the Northern Service joins me live tonight from West Grand Bahama. Jolanda, good evening. I can see the activities are in full swing in the back.
We are here live on the 8 Mile Walk to Museum, where a gospel concert is planned in honor of the late Obadiah Wilscombe. We have a number of musical performances planned, and residents are slowly coming in. But earlier today, the late minister's parliamentary colleagues honored him in the House of Assembly. The legacy of the former Minister of Social Services and Broadcasting and also Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini, the Honorable Obadiah Wilscombe, continues. His former parliamentary colleagues honoring him in the House of Assembly today, recalling his dual role in government and speaking to his impact to country.
Being the Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini, I have come to know that no matter what happened throughout Obi's term as MP, whether good or bad, he has left an indelible mark on the hearts of the people. They will never forget him.
His contributions to our society were profound, impacting various sectors and leaving a legacy that will endure. Obi's journey through life was a remarkable one, characterized by his unwavering charisma and dedication to his country.
He was really an icon and a fixture in this honorable place.
Minister Wilscombe's political career began in 1994. He also served as the Minister for Tourism, introducing sports, religious, and African-American tourism in the Bahamas. The minister also created a platform for the development of a film industry. But beyond his political span, the icon was also a sportsman and a former president of the Grand Bahama Basketball Association.
Obi Wilscombe was a fixture on behalf of the Progressive Liberal Party at various church services. And so you cannot help, when you go to a convention, remembering that when you were there 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that Obi Wilscombe was there.
Wilscombe passed away on September 24th, 2023 in West Grand Bahama at the age of 64. A concert has been planned in his honor tonight with performances by Simeon Alton, Ozan Jadort, the West End Primary School Band, and more at the 8 Mile Rock High School Auditorium. Again, we are at the 8 Mile Rock Gymnasium where a special concert is taking place. A full newscast will be in tomorrow's report. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson-Evers. Back to you, Clint.
Thank you, Jolanda. Of course, we sent our thoughts and prayers to his family's constituency, and tonight, which takes the tone of a celebratory evening to, of course, pay tribute to a man who has contributed significantly to the field of broadcasting, also as the former Minister of Social Services and also former Minister of Tourism. His legacy speaks for itself and the work that he has done, and we indeed honor him here. He was our immediate past Minister of Tourism, our Minister of Broadcasting, responsible for the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, and we indeed continue to remember his work, his contribution, and his legacy. Well, still to come tonight, taxi cab union talking about their concerns and their issues, particularly with the rise of gas. With the president of the taxi cab union here. Plus, a little later, the president or the head of the Chamber of Commerce is here to talk to us about everything business. We have a good show planned for you. The rundown. We're back right after this. Stay close.
yeah. I like Johnny Cake, yeah. Where my fish do, what I don't need all that bread, that don't make a show, yeah. I like the beach, but I don't go in water. Just grab me a Clint, that's the bear of the Bahamas. I like to go down, oh yeah, oh yeah.
JMC Bank, JMC TCI, and Sunset Village Fish Fry present I'm a Boatman, featuring KB and Fred, D-Mac, Tino D, Nishi Ellis, Sweet Emily, Wilfred Sullivan, Funky D, DVS, Veronica Bishop, Papa Smurf, Gerard Taylor, Lil Joe Cartwright, Mama D, Colin McDonough, Chad Colley, and the VIP. And from Turks Island, the Proficient Band, and host Super P. There'll also be performances by The Stringer and the Platinum Nights Junkanoo Group. Sunday, October 13th at Sunset Village Fish Fry, 8 Mile Rock.
Sponsored by the Ministry for Grand Bahama and the Ministry of Tourism. Beginning Monday, September 16th, it's the new lineup of ZNS News and Current Affairs, 6 p.m. It's What's Trending, Lifestyles in the Afternoon with Stacey Campbell Marshall, 6:30. We head to the north for the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition, 7 p.m. It's the Bahamas Tonight National Report, followed by the Bahamas Tonight Access, now at 7:30. Then at 8 p.m., your nightly news analysis show, The Rundown, with Clint Watson, and 11 p.m., the Bahamas Tonight at 11 with Royston Jones. It's a full lineup of the new ZNS, and it starts Monday, September 16th. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Covering the news seems easy, but we put thought into what we're doing. The Bahamas Tonight Access Now, here to inform, educate, and entertain. A new type of newscast featuring social media trends, news from around the islands, interviews with the people you like, sports, weather, and fabulous entertainment. That's a Bahamas Tonight Access Now with Marcellus Hall and LaDon Davis. Live, starting September 16th.
And welcome back to the Rundown. A special good evening to all of you joining us online in the Lion's Den, on social media, and all of our digital platforms. It indeed is good to have you with us. Well, in just a few days, we will see the increase in gas permitted by government. And while it is expected to have minimal impact since gas prices have recently dropped, one particular grouping is actually saying something completely different, right? And it's how it's impacting them. Taxi drivers are concerned about the hike, saying it impacts them at the slowest period of the tourism season. And of course, tonight, President Wesley Smith is here to talk to us all about it. Sir, of course, last week on the Rundown, the Prime Minister would have made the increase. And I want to play that soundbite for you when he announced the increase that would come on behalf of gas dealers, and of course saying that it was a win-win for government and gas retailers who had been at a stance for some time now. Let's take a look at that soundbite from Prime Minister.
Is that there will be an increase in their margin, both for gasoline and gas and diesel, added to their margin, and it would not have, as I said, the deleterious effect on the Bahamian public as it would have done if we had done it much earlier.
So Bahamians can expect to see a slight increase at the pumps?
Yes, but not major.
When you say not major, what are you going to give us figures?
Well, it's like 25 cents on gasoline and 15 cents on diesel.
All right, and so my guest tonight is the president of the Taxi Cab Union, Mr. Wesley Ferguson. Welcome to the show, beyond. Welcome to the show on the Rundown. What am I thinking? I'm tired. Yeah. Welcome to the show. Good to have you with us.
The pleasure's all mine. Good evening, Muhammad.
Let's start right there. I can't get over that. Let's start first of all. How are taxi drivers doing?
Taxi drivers are doing fairly well. When it comes to the position that we're in now, with the rise in gas prices. But other than that, we are faring well.
Obviously, people are talking about the rise in gas that has been permitted by government to take effect October 1st. What are taxi drivers saying?
Well, this is certainly bad news for taxi drivers at this time because being the slowest season of the year, September, October, November, most part of November is very, very slow for taxi drivers. And, we just got an increase in taxi fares after some 7-8 years. And to now be hit with exorbitant gas prices, that kind of slide the rug out from underneath us. But we hope to revamp and regroup and get some new ideas going and see how we could survive in these hard economical times.
I'm glad you said that because it obviously is a good perspective that you're taking toward this, and I think the fact that you said revamp, come up with ideas, says that you're on the proactive end and not just complaining, saying, "Oh, gas is going up, we can't make it," but trying to find ways to make it work.
Yeah, definitely. But we're going to engage the petroleum companies in a minute to see if we could get a reduction in gas prices for taxi drivers. Also, we have engaged one of the electrical car companies to try to get them to import electrical cars that are suitable for taxis, because the taxi industry now is moving towards larger vehicles, 13, 14 seaters. And so far, there's a lot of electrical vehicles on the streets of Nassau. Even I see the government have a whole lot of them, but they're not adaptable for the use of taxi at this time. So we will have to re-engage them, because we engaged them about 2 years ago, and they had a very aggressive plan. I think it was supposed to be by 2030. They anticipated that we would have been about 80% electrical cars on the street, but that has not yet been realized. It seems as if they're not moving in that direction fast enough for us. So we'll have to re-engage them to see if we can get that process going, so taxi drivers could get some relief from the exorbitant gas prices.
I want to go back to your first suggestion. I thought it was pretty interesting, engaging the retailers and hoping that you can negotiate a special price for taxi drivers at the pumps. How realistic do you think that can be?
That is very realistic, because that has happened before in the industry.
It has?
Yeah, it has happened before in the industry. We had a program where we advertised, get money back from the fuel you buy. That was an advertisement that went on in the early 2000, 2001, 2003. So we were getting, at the time, it was Texaco gas station. So they gave us, I think, at the time, but 5-cent discount on every gallon of gas, on 5 cents on a dollar anyway. And that went well for a few years, but then after that, it fizzled out. So we're going to re-engage that program again with the fuel retailers and see if we can get some relief, because we do consume an exorbitant amount of fuel. Fuel is a necessity in the taxi industry. We can't do without it, and it's hopeless to even try to, because you're going to fail. So what we need to do is find a way to work around it, because obviously we don't want to disparage the fuel companies from trying to get an increase, because the taxi union just negotiated for an increase for taxi drivers in their fares. So we would like to see everybody survive, because inflation is real. Okay, there's no working around, and I don't want to feel as if, I want them to feel as if we are entitled to an increase and they are not. So to be fair and to have a level playing field, we kind of sympathize with them, because they've been agitating for some time, and we anticipated that this increase would be forthcoming.
Let's talk about the industry, because taxi cab industry has had some challenges in the past with the quality of service you delivered. Are you seeing a turnaround and less complaints?
Oh, definitely. We still have a lot of work to do, but we've seen a lot of turnaround, because one thing is certain, we have got that much needed relief from leasing taxi plates. So when we came in office in 2018, we met 85% of taxi drivers leasing taxi plates, and only 15% owning their own taxi franchise. Now today we could boast, thanks to the government of Bahamas, we could boast of having 85% of taxi drivers now owning the business, and that was our main goal, for us to own our industry instead of it being owned by other people who don't have any interest in the business but just have a taxi plate. So taxi drivers are doing fairly well, and with the increase in visitor arrivals, we just boast of having more than 9 million tourists visiting our shores over the last year or so. So taxi drivers are doing well so far, so good, but we have a lot of grounds to cover, because we got a lot of new taxi drivers that entered the industry, and they need to be retrained and actually to try to appreciate where we came from, how we got here, and instead of just looking at the tourist dollars, just a tourist dollar instead of rendering real service. So that's what's needed.
I want to talk about that. I want to go to a break. When we come back, I want to talk about the training opportunities, and I want to then talk about is there room in the industry? We see what happened around the United States and around other parts of the world. Uber came along, Lyft came along, and it impacted service. Are we prepared to see a shift in ride sharing here in the Bahamas? We'll talk about that after the break. You're watching The Rundown. We're back after this. Stay close.
Welcome to our SBDC Business Tips, where we share valuable insights with small business owners. From practical advice to actionable tips, we're here to support you on your journey to success. Invest in yourself. As an entrepreneur, it's essential to recognize that your most valuable asset is yourself. You are the driving force behind your business's success, and investing in your personal and professional development is crucial. Take the time to nurture your skills and knowledge by reading books, attending workshops, or seeking mentorship. Prioritizing personal and professional growth not only benefits you, but also has a direct impact on the growth and prosperity of your business. We hope you find these business tips helpful. To help your business reach its full potential, visit sbdcbahamas.com or give us a call at 242-461-SBDC.
Good morning and welcome. I'm Dr. Gale, and I'm inviting you to be a part of a journey where we open the Word of God to receive strength, to receive empowerment from the Scriptures as they have been written. Get your Bibles, get your cup of coffee or your tea, because this journey is gonna be great. This is your day of victory.
Welcome back to The Rundown. We're talking with President of the Bahamas Taxi Cab Union, Wesley Ferguson, about things, how the industry is working with them, particularly in the slow season, and some of the creative ideas he already has on how to balance out the increase in gas prices, talking about a conversation they want to have with the retailers to perhaps get a special rate for taxi drivers who consume more fuel than the average person. As you can imagine, that's their livelihood on a day-to-day basis. We're talking about the fact that there are new taxi cab drivers in the industry, and perhaps there needs to be opportunities for training for them. What kind of training do seasoned taxi drivers go through?
Well, Bahama Host is one of the training programs that is afforded to taxi drivers. But I think they need a little bit more of that, more than that at this time, because the new taxi drivers do not appreciate where we came from, the struggles, when you're talking all the way back from 1958 with Sir Clifford Darling and so forth and so on. And we remember taxi drivers before 9/11 that we used to actually be able to ride right up to the gangplank of a cruise ship and make sure that every tourist was accommodated. We made sure that in the nighttime, if a flight was coming in late, everybody was accommodated and was taken home. The taxi drivers were the first ones at the airport and the last ones to see everybody home safely. So we need to get back to that, where it's service, that we render service instead of just looking at the income and see how much money we could rake in a day, instead of just rendering real service. Because taxi drivers, and the new ones, and some of them, not all, some of them are real good people, but some of them lack that kind of training and that kind of insight in what the industry is all about.
Do we have set rates and meters running in the cars, or is it just the random rates for random locations?
No, we've just secured even the rate increase came with the reorganization of the rates. So we now have a rate card that taxi drivers, most of them are equipped with, and some of it is online. So you can know what your taxi fare is prior to getting into a taxi. So it's not a random wild west thing anymore, but it still needs to be carefully monitored and make sure taxi drivers are adhering to the new rates.
Are taxi drivers using the automated system, or are they still collecting cash?
They're still collecting cash, and of course we have now been integrating ourselves with the new increase in taxi plates. Now taxi drivers can afford to have their own business license. See, that was a challenge prior to having your own business license in your name, because the financial institutions would not have issued you with a credit card machine in somebody else's business name. So now that you have your own business license, most taxi drivers now are equipped with their own mobile credit card machine. So we are moving ahead in that direction also.
We've seen how ride shares have taken a bigger part of the market internationally, the Ubers, the Lyfts. Is there a concern or fear that the Bahamas could be moving in that direction?
No. The taxi union stands resolute that that kind of service will never be permitted in the Bahamas.
Why?
Because, number one, taxi drivers they enjoy the fact that they mostly cater to the tourist industry.
Correct.
All right? So there's not, with the jitney service now that runs through every little street and corner, there's not much use for a taxi in the
local
market. So we cater towards the tourists mostly, okay? So for that reason, we are making sure that there is no avenue for them to even have parking or even to integrate into the system. And of course, our insurance companies are not set up for you to actually charge somebody in a private car. So they've tried it before, but the taxi union blocked it at every turn.
Are you serious about that?
I'm serious. No, we don't have any room.
Take your market over.
No, we don't have any room for that kind of thing in the taxi industry.
But it's interesting you brought up, do Bahamians use taxis?
Very, very seldom, very, very sparingly, because with social media nowadays, because I heard people talking about the old radio system 35111 and so forth. That is very obsolete. With technology now today, everybody has a cell phone. So we have group chats where if Mr. Watson wants a taxi in the morning, he calls me up. He said, Mr. Ferguson, I need a taxi for 6 o'clock to take me to the airport. If I can't make it, I put that in the group chat, and the nearest taxi driver to you just pick that up, and I have just transferred that information to you. This is the contact for the taxi that is coming for you at 6 o'clock in the morning. This is his name. And he should be out there at 6 o'clock. If not, call him or call me, and I'll have you accommodated. But that system where people are standing on the side of the street flagging taxis, that is long gone.
Where do you see the future of the industry headed? Where do you see it going?
Well, the industry has a very, very bright future, because with the new influx of taxi drivers, we have a lot of young people in the taxi industry now, and with the taxi union on the precipice of basically creating a whole new atmosphere down there on Nassau Street. We are about to take down that old building, build a new building there on Nassau Street, and we're gonna organize that properly, that the future of the taxi industry remain intact. We're gonna have all kind of programs there for taxi drivers that they will have no other choice but to be unionized and to be organized in this second half, that we be able to sustain ourselves for years and years to come.
Are you satisfied with the market share that you have in the tourism sector? I know that in the past there used to be a lot of arguing over the tour companies and the private buses that were picking up tourists on the boats and so forth. Are you satisfied with your market share now?
Well, we are never satisfied. Taxi drivers. Taxi drivers are never really satisfied, because I guess it's like everybody else. There's never too much. Okay, so we wouldn't go ahead and say we have too much business, but of course we are taking our share. And I am happy to announce that in the tourist industry, when it comes to the transportation industry, with over 1,800 taxis now operating in the city of Nassau, we take home the lion's share of the tourist dollar.
That's good to hear.
Right.
That's good to hear. I think they got the message loud and clear.
Yeah, we take home the lion's share.
I'll give you the final thoughts regarding the industry before we go to a break, and your members and so forth. It's a viable industry. You're still able to take care of your families and homes, so obviously it's working.
Yeah, definitely. And I am happy to announce that I've just begun my third consecutive term
Okay,
as the president
congratulations.
of the taxi union. I am making history again. That I would have been the only president of the Bahamas Taxi Cab Union to serve 3 consecutive terms in that position. So the future for the taxi drivers are bright. I am eager and ready to go. I have a lot of ideas, unfinished business from the last term, and we are just going from higher heights to higher heights.
Well, congratulations to you, and keep up the good work. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Stay with us. When we come back, we're going to talk to the president of the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce about everything business, what you need to know, how you can benefit, how you can join, what do they do, all that coming up right after the break. Stay close.
That's the bear of the Bahamas. I like to go down. Oh yeah.
I have been coming to this island since I was 12 years old. It didn't take me long to realize the rich history it has here. When I bought this island in 2018, I fulfilled a lifelong dream. The goal is not only to preserve the memories I made over those years, but to make new ones and to give others the opportunity to do the same. As we go through this process, it has become clear to me, we aren't just rebuilding an island, we're reviving a legend.
Hey, what's up, Mario?
Hey, Dale, what's going on?
Have you seen ZNS new digital platforms?
No. Let me go check it out.
Good day, Bahamas. I'm Devontae Hanna, and this is ZNS Digital,
where we cater to your news and entertainment needs. Are you a foodie? I thought so. Then look out for Digital Bites.
Shining a light on Bahamians and the good that they do, ZNS Digital is home to the sunshine.
Keeping up with the latest trends, our original content will keep you entertained.
Yeah, that's cool.
But have you seen the new website?
No, I didn't see it. Let me go look.
We're still your most trusted source for news and information.
That's ZNS Digital?
Yeah, that's ZNS Digital, the people station in your pocket.
It's time to grow your church. Time to extend your message to all the islands in the Bahamas, into the Turks and Caicos Islands, and to the world via the ZNS app and website. It's time to broadcast your church's services on ZNS TV. To help you with that, ZNS has some exciting new packages with very good prices. It's time to call 502-3813 for details.
Welcome back. My next guest is settling in his new role while at the same time hitting the pavement hard. He's determined to make a meaningful difference in the growth of businesses in the country. And of course, he is the new president of the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce. Please welcome my guest tonight, Mr. Leo Roll. Good to have you, sir.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
And congratulations on your new role.
Thank you.
Well, I think a lot of us want to understand, first of all, we hear the Chamber of Commerce, yes, and we understand, you know, to some it may be a fraternity of the leaders of the business groups. Tell us exactly what is the importance of the Chamber of Commerce in the Bahamas.
So that's a great question. So the Chamber of Commerce is essentially the voice of the business community. And what that means is essentially our mandate is to provide a level of access, advice, and advisory. We do that through keeping the government's feet to the fire, making sure that fiscal policies or any governmental policies are such that the business community is not disenfranchised. We look at opportunities for interconnectivity for our members. And we also make sure that the business community has a level of longevity and sustainability through some of the initiatives that we do, as well as some of the partnerships that we foster.
Is there a certain criteria for becoming a member of the Chamber of Commerce, or is it open to all businesses?
It is open to all businesses, but of course you have to be a licensed business. So we cannot have a member who is an individual. the chamber is made up of specifically business owners. And so as long as you're a business owner doing legitimate business in the Bahamas, you are open to become a member of the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce. Now you have to be on island because we have different jurisdictions in various islands.
Right.
And so BCCEC proper only caters to businesses in New Providence or those who are in the Family Island with a presence in New Providence.
We often talk about the role of the Chamber of Commerce and how it's there, like you said, keeping the government's feet to the fire. Who keeps the businesses' feet to the fire when there are concerns about whether businesses are operating you know, are not taking advantage of customers or consumers, whether they have, you know, for example, food stores, expired goods that they're trying to put on a discounted purpose rather than taking it off the shelf that the law requires. Who's there to police and make sure businesses are accountable for how they deliver services?
So that's a great question. There are a number of agencies, but the Chamber also has a part to play. So there's Organization for Responsible Governance, there's also the Consumer Protection Commission, but there's also the Chamber of Commerce. And what we do from a Chamber of Commerce standpoint is twofold. So while, as you mentioned, we do keep the government's feet to the fire, we also have to understand and help our members to understand that the lifeblood of your business are those customers. When people go into business, it's essentially to solve a problem that exists in the market. And so you do your market feasibility studies, you do your research, and what you don't understand is that you have to work twice as hard as you did to get that client, to keep that client. And so what we do from a chamber standpoint is market surveys to understand what is the challenge in the market, not only from the consumer, but also from the employer, as well as secret shopper missions. So for instance, we just relaunched the Chamber Institute. Why that was important is because we realized that there are a number of challenges with owning a business and having persons that that rely on that business for goods and services. What the Chamber Institute does is it provides a measure of support for businesses who are otherwise unable to have a training department or to supplement their training department. And so, for instance, we have a professional selling course in sales and one in customer service. The beauty of that customer service course is that it teaches the employees of these businesses how to make sure that the customer service that they provide is top tier, but we go a step further. And so we want to make sure that everything that we are helping them to craft and develop in course is being conducted in person at these businesses. And so we have a secret shopper mission that is combined to that course, such that after we teach you or we help you to build your skills, we come on the business or we send someone in the business to understand and see where the gap balls are. That way we provide a report to your employer and say, here are your areas of concern. Here is our recommendation for you to help to eradicate these areas.
That's interesting because sometimes, many times, one of the challenges small businesses face is the fact that they're not able to afford training. They're not able to focus on it. They're trying to grow a small business. And the fact that there's an institution that actually provide those services for you makes a lot of good sense. Is there a cost for it, though?
So, obviously, the Chamber is a business. Although we're a nonprofit organization, we are a not-for-profit organization that has a membership base that is our support. We also have patron sponsors, and the Chamber Institute is a revenue generating arm for the organization. Now, what we do to make sure that the cost is not prohibitive for our members is we have a non-member rate and we have a member rate. We also have different segments that are completely free to our members. So for instance, we just today had a call with the Caribbean Export Development Agency, who are looking to do a free, members only, private party training program for our clients, such that we will take on 75 persons and we will take them through 2 days of vigorous training on different aspects of owning a business, establishing your business, accessing grant from those international organizations like CEDA. And from time to time, we have multiple programs and training opportunities that are free because we realize that that's a benefit to our members. And so, yes, there is a cost attached to it, but there's also some aspects that are actually free to our members.
You talk to people today and they will tell you, operating a small business in the Bahamas is hard. From the long list of requirements that you have to be compliant with, to the fees, to the challenge of doing business in the country, it is absolutely hard. What is the Chamber's position on doing business in the Bahamas?
So you make a great point. We find that most of the times when persons get into business, they don't realize that you have to plan for the proverbial wall. And so fledgling entrepreneurs, as we call them, hit that proverbial wall around the second year of them doing business, sometimes in the first year. And so you have to build your business plan and your projected or your forward motion with that proverbial wall in place to understand that when you get to that level, you have to pivot. Now, some people pivot out of business, and then some people pivot to perhaps different revenue streams, new products, new services, refining your products or services, looking at your pricing mechanism. Because while you may be competitor pricing to initially access the market or penetration pricing, now you need to shift to probably cost plus pricing. And so what the Chamber does is helps businesses to understand the nuances that are intricately involved in becoming profitable or remaining profitable, but also helping to make sure that their voices are heard and the challenges that they're having, like the cost of doing business and the ease of doing business, are brought forward to the government and to other agencies that assist, but also creating that level of linkage and partnership. You mentioned the elitist feel of the Chamber, and that's actually not true. Because while a large organization can pick up the phone and call the Prime Minister today or tomorrow and have their voices heard, who's doing that for the smaller businesses? And that's where the Chamber comes in. And so creating that level of, or that avenue where there's a level of linkage, there's a level of support, there's a level of advocacy is what we do to make sure that we can, as best we can, limit or lower the cost of doing business while increasing the ease of doing business for our clients.
Based on your Chamber position, do we have too much of one business in the country?
So yes, there are. When I was doing my master's degree, one of the interesting things that I looked at was the red ocean, blue ocean strategy. And what that says is that people go into a red ocean, which is a very populated and oversaturated market, rather than going into a blue ocean, which is a market that is less saturated. What I always say is, it doesn't matter which one you go into. Earlier you talked about Uber and Lyft upsetting or disrupting an established market. There's a space in that market for both avenues or both persons. What it means is how you enter that market, you have to be creative in what you are your product and services, and providing a level of experience that supplements the product or service, such that even though it's a red ocean or it's a saturated market, what you are doing is so uniquely different and so better that you have a market share as well.
How do you market? Because people are saying, well, you know, I really want to get my business out there, but boy, I ain't got no extra money to do marketing. How can the Chamber help people to be able to market, or do you help people to be able to market when they have challenges?
Great question. So one of the biggest challenges we see is people don't have enough people to see, or they're not getting their message across. Through relationships and partnerships like the one that we're establishing with ZNS and other agencies, we will have opportunities for our members to actually have marketing packages through the Chamber, such that they can then say, okay, here's an event that I have that I'm planning. Here's a new product that I'm launching. We need the Chamber's help in getting that to the market. And so reaching out to the Chamber, whether you're a member or not, we can actually craft a package that helps you through various mechanisms of marketing, public relations, helping you with your pitch, helping you to get into the room with members. We have unique membership opportunities like a Bites in Business, where we'll bring all of our members together, like a Chamber Conclave, which is happening next week, Friday, where we bring all of the Family Island Chambers together for a day of strategizing and a day of camaraderie. And so it's things like this that help us to get to those existing markets, but help our members as well.
Do you support public-private partnerships?
Absolutely. So one of the biggest things that I talked about when I joined, onboarded the Chamber about 3 months ago, was the power of partnerships. I completely believe in them. And what I wanted to do from a micro level was to show macro how that can be done. And so I'm sure you've passed the Chamber recently and you've noticed a color change, you've noticed all of the windows and doors have been changed. That is about a $300 project that cost the Chamber $0.00. What that is a power of partnerships. We have got on the phone and called all of our members, and even some persons that weren't members, and what they did was they came together and supported the Chamber by donating doors, by donating windows, by paving the parking lot, by donating flowering plants. And so at the end of the day, the Chamber will do a press release and of course give those businesses the accolades they rightfully deserve. But that public-private partnership was such that we got an entire renovation project done that cost us $0.
Wow.
And so we're doing the same with our members and helping them through public-private partnerships, through things like trade missions, where we take them to these industries or these jurisdictions where they can find foreign direct investment and also access the market for opportunities to import at a lower cost, but also opportunities to export their goods and services.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we talk about the opportunities that are available for you, to be a part of the chamber and how that will benefit your business. We're talking about keeping your business alive. Listen, man, we ain't gonna go into the next year where business is closing down because they don't have the right strategies. You need to be open because Bahamians need to become owners, not workers in the economy. So let's talk about that afterwards, how to keep you going. We're back after this.
JMC TCI and Sunset Village Fish Fry present I'm a Boatman, featuring KB and Fred, D-Mac, Tino D, Nishi Ellis, Sweet Emily, Wilfred Sullivan, Funky D, DVS, Veronica Bishop, Papa Smurf, Gerard Taylor, Lil Joe Cartwright, Mama D, Colin McDonough, Chad Colley, and the VIP. And from Turks Island, the Proficient Band, and host Super P. There'll also be performances by The Stringer and the Platinum Nights Junkanoo Group. Sunday, October 13th at Sunset Village Fish Fry, 8 Mile Rock.
Sponsored by the Ministry for Grand Bahama and the Ministry of Tourism.
It's the Battle of the Brains, 20 years strong and still going. Powered by Grand Bahama Power, fueling the future with scholarships and new opportunities.
After 20 years, I'm very confident in my team. I believe that we are very intelligent and we are very capable enough to actually win this entire competition.
I'm Leanna Johns. I'm from LAS, and I want to say thank you to Grand Bahama Power and to Buckeye for giving us this opportunity.
The Battle of the Brains, where school pride meets genius.
Welcome to our SBDC Business Tips, where we share valuable insights with small business owners. From practical advice to actionable tips, we're here to support you on your journey to success. Celebrate successes along the way. Building a business is undeniably challenging, which is why it's crucial to pause and celebrate your victories along the way. Whether it's hitting a significant milestone, securing a major client, or accomplishing a personal goal, make a point to acknowledge and commemorate your achievements. So, remember to take time to revel in your successes. It's a vital part of sustaining motivation and momentum on your journey to success. We hope you find these business tips helpful. To help your business reach its full potential, visit sbdcbahamas.com or give us a call at 242-461-SBDC.
And welcome back to the Rundown. My guest tonight is President of the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce, Leo Roll. We're talking about all things business. You know, at the end of the day, the idea is to ensure we contribute to help businesses survive and thrive. The more businesses that do well in this country, the better it is for Bahamians to be in the seat of ownership and not just working for a company, but owning. We need to get rid of this dogged mentality where we believe that only certain people can own businesses in this country and own, I should say, successful businesses in this country. You know, we don't have to call the names, but we know the bigger businesses, we expect them to succeed. Why? Because we patronize them, because they always provide a service that we need or goods that we need. But there is room in our country and in this robust tourism economy for so many businesses to thrive and survive. What are they doing wrong?
One of the things I think some of the smaller businesses are doing wrong, as you said, is not doing their proper grounding or their research before they go into business.
Yeah.
So I understand that my friend or I see a business that's going well, and I realize that they're pricing their goods and services at, let's say, $50. And so I go into that market because I think this is the new in thing without doing proper research and understanding that there's a reason that that person was able to charge $50. Perhaps they're bringing in bulk, perhaps they're partnering with someone. When I go into that business and I charge $50, I'm operating at a loss. And so understanding, first of all, the need in the market, because you may be going into a market where there's really and truly not an appetite for your product or service, and then you want to hit the wall when you realize that no one is purchasing your goods and services. So that's one of the challenges, but also too, I think the larger organizations have a part to play. And so when you think about a serial entrepreneur, we would call them, versus a fledgling entrepreneur, there's an opportunity for mentoring. There's an opportunity for those persons who have stood the test of time and who understand how business works, and organizations like the Chamber of Commerce, who has some of those older pillars, I would call them, to get them together and say, well, here's the mentorship component, which we have done in conjunction with the Ministry of Labor. by creating the National Apprenticeship Program. And so that will be launched very shortly. And what that does is it allows for businesses that are established and who understand how business work to mentor those persons who are either up-and-coming entrepreneurs or persons looking to become entrepreneurs. And we're going into the schools such that it becomes more involved. So there is an entrepreneurship platform in the junior high schools and in the senior high schools. And so what the Chamber wants to do is go into those lower levels and help those persons even from that level to understand how business works and what are some of those nuances you have to overcome before you can even chart the course towards becoming a business owner.
When you talk about patron sponsorship, what do you mean by that?
So the Chamber gets funding in a number of ways. We talked about the opportunity of becoming a member.
Correct.
So there's membership dues that go from anywhere from $275, very reasonable, a year for a sole proprietor, and it can go all the way up to $4,950 for those larger organizations. There's then the Chamber Institute, so any programs or courses that we do also drive revenue for the Chamber. And then there are patron sponsors. Those are businesses or organizations who believe in the mission and the mandate of the Chamber and provide a measure of support to the Chamber to actually ensure that that mandate continues. And so that's what a patron sponsor really is, a business or an organization that provides a measure of support to the Chamber on an annual basis so that we can get our mandate and our mission done.
One of the things I notice our country struggles with is, especially in food, we import everything. And so we're not doing the opposite. I think probably the most you would see a large level of export may be in the fisheries industry. How is the Chamber trying to encourage foreign direct investment or market exposure?
So that's a great question. Every meeting that we usually, when there's a delegation coming to the Bahamas, one of the first places that they want to stop to is the Chamber. I feel like in the past few weeks, we've had 4 to 5 different delegations coming by. While I'm listening to what they are saying in terms of what their market is producing and how they can get that into my market or the Bahamas market, my main concern is, okay, how can this be a symbiotic relationship? How can we also export to your country? Because there are things that your country may not have or that we may be already producing that can be derived, that can come from you, that can go into your market. And so that's always a question. We work with agencies like the Caribbean Export Development Agency, USAID, and others that can help with, one, FDA readiness, and also contract manufacturing, because we find that one of the challenges is that there's a logistics problem with getting your goods and services out of the market. And so if you can find a contract manufacturer that can produce your goods and services in other countries, then it's just a matter of actually selling it in that country without the encumbrance of having to get it out of the Bahamas to those different areas. We're also looking to help with things like packaging, logistics. We have a number of shipping agencies, one of them that actually just opened a branch in Ghana, and they are Chamber members.
Really?
And so we're working closely with them to understand the nuances that are intricately involved in getting products and services from the Bahamas to these various markets, and working with our connections that come in, or whether it's trade missions that we go out to these various countries. So for instance, next year in April 10th to the 18th actually, we have struck a partnership with the Indian government, such that we are taking a delegation of about 50 businesses to India, and they're all in the construction industry, and that's for an opportunity for a symbiotic relationship where there are persons or goods that can come into the country at a lower rate, and also things that they can do, partnerships that can be derived. And we'll of course be inviting the media so that that can be displayed.
Of course.
And we can see what the fruits of our labor were.
What advice do you give to the aspiring or the fledgling and serial entrepreneurs on how the Chamber supports what they do uniquely? Obviously, they're all different levels and at different forts. How does this Chamber spread its wings to meet the needs of so many different categories of businesses?
So I think we are intentional in our approach. We're intentional in the way we address various needs of our consumers. You'll find that each consumer or each challenge is different. And so what we do is we look at those challenges and those problems using empirical data. We don't simply spew from the mouth. What we do is do our research, look at those position papers, look at how it was done in different jurisdictions, look at some of the challenges that not only the fledgling entrepreneurs have, but entrepreneurs in these industries throughout various segments, working with organizations who have the information and the data that is needed, where we can say, okay, this is your business plan. You plan to go into an ice cream business and your projections or your trajectory says that you'll make $500,000 in the first year. But when we look at the SPDC data, we can see that for businesses in these same industries, the max is 100,000. And so we need to now help you to prime your business idea to say, well, what are you going to do so differently or better that you will make 5 times the amount of the standard in these various areas? And so what we do is we help to refine those decisions, those ideas, and help you to kind of galvanize the support that's needed. Because as you started the show in saying, rightfully so, owning a business is hard. Owning anything is hard. But when you have that support system in the Chamber of Commerce that can galvanize the level of support that is needed, it becomes easier and it becomes fun.
Anything in the pipeline? What have you been completed so far as initiatives of the Chamber?
Oh, so we've done quite a bit. We've been working a lot with some of the other agencies, trying to build those partnerships. When I onboarded, we had about 164 members, so to speak. And in our strategic plan, we have a 3-year trajectory. And in the first year, it says that we will double or increase membership by 100%. But we did that within the first 100 days. So we've doubled that membership already. When we're doing all of this with a very, very small team, I have a team of literally 4 persons.
Wow.
And we're burning the midnight oil. We also have a complete renovation exercise. We wanted to look at some of the members who are, I would call them stalwarts, and understand why it is that they haven't renewed. And so getting back to membership and helping them to see, one, the benefit that they joined for originally, but also hearing some of the concerns. Because if I haven't renewed, then obviously there's a challenge why I haven't renewed.
Right.
And so listening to the members and listening to see what the challenges were, and then how we address those challenges. Working closely with government agencies and those organizations like an Inland Revenue, that is sometimes one of the biggest impediments to a business when it comes to taxes or renewing that business license, and working to make sure that we don't become the impediment to the business, and we have a level of consultation rather than confrontation with the business community.
Next 100 days into your first year, what are you hoping to get done?
So really and truly, my job is easy because what I'm doing is simply carrying out the mandate of the board. And so we have a great board of directors who provide strategic direction. And what I want to do is make sure that everything related to a business, the Chamber has a hand in. The Chamber is I would call the central body, the voice of the business community. And so having persons take a second look at the Chamber, building our membership, building that level of advocacy for the business community, helping with the level of export readiness, and then making the ease of doing business higher, but also lowering the cost of doing business are some of my key pillars or key mandates for the next 100 years, in 100 days.
100 years.
100 days in office.
Aside from this wonderful partnership that people will get access to at ZNS and getting some great rates and getting some great exposure here in the network, why else should people join the Chamber of Commerce, businesses?
Really and truly, the Chamber of Commerce is the voice of the business community, as I said. And when you look at having someone that can support you, or an organization that can support you, not only with the challenges that you're having, but also being that pillar of strength when it comes to accessing government, things where you need to go through the government, or accessing opportunities where it's international exposure, or accessing a level of acumen where your staff are skilled. The Chamber of Commerce is that one-stop shop. And so having that organization that can be all things to the business owner and the business community is essential for your longevity, but also your support as a business owner. And so I invite people to have a second look at the Chamber. Call us today, 322-2145, or you can send us an email, info@thebahamaschamber.com, and we'll gladly take the application and gladly walk you through the process of becoming a member, but also the benefits that are derived from that membership with the organization.
Well, certainly, I hope you will take it up for a challenge. We need to see more businesses succeed. I believe that you guys have the tools at the Chamber of Commerce to ensure people are able to stay in business and do well with it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And thank you for coming on the show.
Never.
And see, of course, for joining up with ZNS, that was one of the best moves you made as president, because it's going to have changed the way you do business under the chamber. So, good move. I hope these are your members. I'm about to read our sponsors. I hope these are your members. Of course, I want to say thank you to our sponsors, Jamaica Bahama Imports. All right, collect. The I Am Boatman concert with KB and Friends. Yeah, CBS, Little Caesars Pizza, Ace Hardware, the Small Business Development Center, and of course, Bamboo Shock Express. They are sponsors. If your name is on that list, you ought to get on that list. How else you can get your name called on the Rundown Show? Get on this list. Any of those names sound familiar?
Yes, sir.
All right. They're following the right thing. Thank you so much. That does it for us on the Rundown. For all of us here at ZNS, I'm Clint Watson. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to join us for the Bahamas tonight at 11 with Royston Jones. Is he in the house? I haven't seen Royston. Oh, he's over there. He's over there. He's at work. He's at work. He'll be with you with all the latest news at 11 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Good night, everyone.